Good morning, everyone. This is Chris. I'm usually here Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday at 10 a.m. If you've never been here before, I'm just a local IT guy offering free conversation.
Hello, Chris Sobrino.
Hi, this is Chris.
You have a caller. To accept the call, press 1.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
Options, press star.
Yeah, sorry, it's just not working. I hate that. The phone won't let me answer.
I'm sorry, I did not hear you.
Oh, I hate that. All right, well, I'll have to call him back. Sometimes my phone app crashes. If you've never been here before, my name is Chris. I offer free interaction for about, as long as it makes sense. I'll sit here and give you some interaction. If you want a technical conversation, you're free to bug me. If you just want a conversation, that's fine. The only thing I won't talk about is politics. How are you, everyone? Show up at around 10 a.m. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and you will find me, unless I'm being paid to be somewhere else. I try my best to be on that schedule and give you an interaction. I am a local IT guy, and I like talking tech more than anything else. All right, so, right, him, yes. All right. There we are. I know who it is now.
This is Adam.
Hey, it's Chris. Sorry, my phone glitched when I was trying to answer the phone.
No worries at all. Hey, Andy, is it okay to run the laptop over to you right now?
Yes, I'm here. Yes.
Okay, perfect. I'll come over right now.
All right. Bye.
Thanks.
Trying to tell me Windows 11 is giving him performance issues. What it is a mechanical failure of the hard drive. He doesn't necessarily understand that, so I think I had that conversation with him earlier and articulated the fact that the drive is likely the problem. I don't think Windows 11 as a software product is the reason his games are not working reliably. I think coincidentally his mechanical drive is starting to show its performance age. Yes, all mechanical drives, they tend to show their age as they get used, and even now a mechanical drive is so much slower than even a cheaper SSD that the performance variation is so obvious that I don't even mess with a mechanical drive. Unless you got 4 terabytes of data, go get an SSD. It's just so much more, the performance you get is just so much better. You just do not want to waste your time with an older technology. So I'm telling everyone, get an SSD equipped laptop or desktop. Most people don't have terabytes worth of data to deal with. If you do, a mechanical drive is the only situation where it can actually save you money. And generally, if you're dealing with that kind of data, the performance isn't necessarily needed. So I tend to tell people to stick with an SSD whenever possible. The cost you get is literally multiple times better than a mechanical drive. So anyway, if you've never been here before, I show up for a short while and see if there's any news articles that are easy enough for me to articulate and summarize as I read. Let's see here. What's in the tech news today? Netflix adds HDR support for Pixel A, Pixel 6, and Pixel Pro. That sounds like a technicality that's just not that interesting. Really? You're going to add HDR? Lovely. All right, well, it's these companies trying to be meaningful. That's a slight upgrade. That's kind of boring. All right. These companies are doing whatever they can. Let's see here. Download new Apple's Unity Lights wallpapers for iPhone, iPad, and Mac here. Oh, really? Okay, well. Okay, come on. I hate that. I'm trying to read a news article and I get some stupid ad that won't go away. Yeah, I understand. The article is for free. That's why I'm being fed an ad. But if the ad's in the way, I can't read the article. Student who hijacked iPhone camera did the same to the Mac. Apple paid bug bounty of $100,000. Lovely. Apple paid bug bounty of $100,000 after cybersecurity student who successfully hijacked the iPhone camera back in 2019 did the same with the Mac camera. Ryan Pickering used an imaginative approach that allowed him to run arbitrary code on a target Mac and received what he believes to be the largest bug bounty Apple has ever paid. So they haven't done this. They haven't paid exactly $100,000 or more to anyone else ever. How can you only believe it? I mean, that would likely go viral or be big news if that really is the case. How do we not know? Anyway, background. Pickering is a PhD student in cybersecurity at the Georgia Institute of Technology. Back in 2019, he discovered a series of vulnerabilities that he exploited to enable him to switch on an iPhone camera and microphones without the user having to grant privacy permissions. He said Apple's camera security was pretty intense, but he succeeded in chaining to get multiple exploits to defeat it. So basically he took multiple tools, software-wise, linked them together, and bam. He said Apple's camera was pretty intense, but he succeeded in cheating multiple technologies together. He reported it to the iPhone maker, which fixed vulnerabilities and paid him a bug bounty of $75,000. Cool. New exploit hijack Mac webcam. Not content with this. Pickering last year set out to see whether he could take control of a Mac webcam, and successfully in doing so, the path he found let him do much more than that, however. And this is a quote. My hack successfully gained unauthorized camera access by exploiting a series of issues with iCloud sharing in Safari version 15. Well, this bug does require the victim to click open on the pop-up from my website. It results in more than just multimedia permission hijacking. This time, the bug gives the attacker full access to every website ever visited by the victim. That means, in addition to turning on your camera, my bug can also hack your iCloud, PayPal, Facebook, Gmail accounts, etc. also. Yeah, that's a big deal. Also why I bug people about abandoning their 10-year-old iMacs. Because if you can't run the latest OS, you can't run the latest browser. So, if you have a old version of anything Mac, you're going to be stuck with an old version of the browser that it's latest supported with. So technically speaking, if 15 is the latest browser on Monterey, well, when Monterey is no longer the latest and greatest, then what? You can't run the latest OS. You can technically run the latest version of Chrome or Firefox, but that's only for another year or two into the use of your out-of-date Mac OS. So yeah, it's possible you can run the latest Chrome or Firefox, but still, after about 5 or 6 years, you can no longer run the OS. This is 2011. You can't see it. I've got a 2011 iMac right here. It only goes to Catalina, so it's 2 years out of date. And that's assuming it was totally up to date. So that's one of the arguments for being totally up to date. Not having the right browser, and so much of what we do is online. I mean, how much use does a computer actually have if you're not actually accessing a web service? So much of what we use a computer for is done online. Oftentimes we're not playing our localized media content. I know very few people that actually have a giant hard drive with movies or TV shows anymore. That used to be the common way to consume content, but then of course between the streaming media of Netflix or Pandora, even I have a large collection of music on a hard drive. I literally have not plugged in years because I lazily listen to content. Really, Dad? Okay, yes. The dash cam I just installed is the Blackview camera. You can pay a few bucks. I love it. It actually, I pay. So the dash cam from what's it called? Yeah, Blackview. Look up Blackview. It's a higher end product. You have cheaper options, but I personally chose the one that has the radio connection through a cell service company. So I pay T-Mobile an extra, I think it's $25, so that I can access my camera, my phone camera, through the, I can access the camera in the car through the phone live. So when it's off, it's hardwired into the camera's fuse box, so that when the car gets bumped, or if someone touches the camera of the car while I'm not in it, I physically still have access to it. So this camera has an ability to back into the permanent power system. So if a machine is if the camera is plugged into the car, yeah, you can still have access to the car. So like if you're not in the property, or yeah, like if you're in the big high-rise building, you can see if someone bumps into your car. So it has the rear camera as well as the front camera. A lot of the cheaper setups, they only give you the front camera, and it's a the dash. What is it? The 9. Let's look it up. Blackview. Yes, the Blackview camera is what I have. I personally just installed it. I actually had a cheaper camera installed, but that didn't have cloud connectivity. So what I did is I repurposed the rear camera from the cheaper camera that I have installed. So I technically have 3 cameras, and I repurposed the rear view camera as like the Yes Officer camera. So I took the camera that was pointed out, the cheaper camera setup, and rewired it so it's on the dash. And any activity that I incur with someone at my door or me, everything that happens in the car and right out the window is repurposed by that rear camera. Obviously, that's a little excessive, but I decided there's no reason to disable the old system. So I left in basically 3 cameras. So as far as the Blackview camera goes, you can buy the cheaper option, which is a lower resolution and doesn't give you the cloud backup. Well, yeah, they do cloud backup. They've got the, what's it called? They've got their own backup service, but you're dealing with the fact that you also have the camera that has the memory in it. So it's a high-res setup. Buy the biggest memory chip you want. And after so many months or maybe a year or more, you might want to consider swapping it out with another piece of memory. But it does have, I think that those cameras, even their cheaper cameras, support up to 256 gigs of memory. I'll be right back. Hi. How are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Yes, all right.
No worries.
So your assumption is that the I'm assuming that your performance issues with the games are not necessarily the Windows 11.
I don't think it's Windows 11.
Yeah.
I'm thinking this is my 13-year-old. I'm thinking that,
Where's the power button? Oh, there it is. It's
Yeah.
buried in the F keys.
Yeah. So, how you been?
All right. Not bad.
Good.
No. Let's see. How about the front door camera? Oh, front door camera. I'll be with you in a second. Let's see here.
I can leave it with you, too.
No, it's all right. I
Okay.
kind of want to see if we can
Yeah.
obviously see how this performs. I want to jump online for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Go ahead and
Yeah.
log it. Careful with that screen.
Okay.
I saw you
Yeah.
carrying it like that.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
It's really easy to damage a screen that way.
I think he said...
I want to just go jump online and see if
Yeah.
I see any obvious degradation.
Okay.
With not here, I can't really play his games. Do you know if this thing has mechanical drive?
I don't.
All right. It's an HP Omen. Let's see here. And he's just complaining about its overall slowness.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
calls it glitching, but I think
Throughout
it's
the whole
slowness.
computer.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really want to blame Windows 11 at all.
No, I don't.
It's a relatively minor upgrade. Okay, let's just see. I don't need to play the audio. It seems. Okay, no obvious lag here. Is there any way you can bring him back and let him spend 5 minutes with this game?
Yeah. Yeah.
I really need to see it not performed to get a gist.
Yeah.
And just me watching the web or trying to spend a few minutes. I don't really have the time to spend an hour or more waiting for something to fail.
Yeah, let me, I can't do it today.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Because just me watching YouTube isn't really going to let me see it
No,
not
you need to see it
perform
playing.
properly.
Yeah, I can do that. So.
So yeah, I mean, sometimes if it were obvious, then yes.
Yeah.
But if it's not obvious, or if it's a hit and miss problem, I have to see it not
Yeah.
work. Because
Yeah.
I've had people come to me and like literally one game is an issue, but
Yeah.
other games aren't.
Okay.
So
Yeah, let me do that then.
So yeah, it's usually the last time that was the issue. The glitch was in. Well, what I did is I totally reinstalled Windows because they had so much aftermarket software installed, including the retail crap.
Yeah.
That's one. Oh, we just got a blue screen here. Does he see that ever?
I don't think he's seen that in a while. I don't think
All right. Well,
he saw that once.
driver power stick. You know what? Was this the machine that had? I think I remember that was
Yeah.
part of the initial issue.
Yes, it was.
Did we replace the hard drive or did we just reinstall Windows?
I think we just reinstalled Windows.
Yeah. Okay. So that looks like a hard drive failure again, just like
yeah.
my initial theory.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That-
I'm thinking the hard drive needs to be replaced.
And I got the Geek Squad, all that stuff that I
Well, if
paid
that's
for.
qualified, then you don't need to pay me because
Yeah.
you already paid me labor to reinstall Windows.
Yeah.
So if you've already got the Geek Squad,
So I've already got the Geek Squad. I
you
need to take them.
You basically tell them you had a free conversation with me and say,
Yeah.
I got a guy who's got a little bit of skill. He's basically implying that blue screen
Yeah.
implies that your hard drive is failing.
Okay. Yeah, because
So-
this isn't even a year old.
Right. Oh well, if it's not even a year old,
It might be. It just was a year.
well,
in December.
if it's literally a year,
Yeah.
call an HP and find out if it's warranty covered because
Okay.
that's hardware failure,
Yeah.
and it doesn't look abused at all.
No.
So yeah.
He never leaves his desk. So.
I mean, my recommendation, if it were on my personal machine,
Yeah.
I would pay me $100 plus the hardware cost. It's like $130 to put an SSD in here.
I'd rather you just do that.
Yeah, all right. Well, I mean, do you want to do that versus?
Yeah.
I mean, you got a warranty with Geek
I'd
Squad.
rather just pay you. Now, how long will that take? Because
We gotta order it.
Okay.
We just got to order it, and of course, it looks like the retail copy. No, I did the Windows install. so
Yeah, you
this
did the
is-
Windows install.
Yeah, so I'll open it up. If you want to leave it with me, it'll take me 10 minutes to open up and find out what sort of drive is in here.
Yeah.
There's like two different form factors. It's either an M2 or an old 2.5.
I'll leave it with you if you want to call me back.
Yeah, all
I'll
right,
give you my
cool.
card here.
Yeah, I think you did that before.
Yeah, it's okay.
Cool. So I'll
Yeah.
call you
And let me know.
later today.
Yeah.
And
I mean, even if it's a drive,
what
could I
think
pick
it
it
is?
up?
Yeah.
I mean, I can go pick it up and drop it off. for
I don't know if Best Buy. Yeah, these days.
Yeah.
The Best Buy up the street is just closed.
Yeah.
Fry's Electronics is gone. It's almost like you can't build a computer. Enthusiasts can't buy local hardware.
you. Gotcha.
You have to buy it online. It's almost unfortunate.
Gotcha.
Yeah, even Best Buy, when they do have the things that you need, the selection sucks.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. You
Yeah.
gotta buy stuff locally.
Yeah, let
I
me
mean,
know.
online.
Yeah, let me know, and then, because he's leaving on Friday, but if he doesn't have it, I'm not worrying about it. I'd rather you get it fixed.
Right.
Yeah. So,
Got it.
Perfect.
All right.
Okay, thanks.
Cool.
Chris. Okay.
I'll call you before the end of the day.
Sounds good.
Thanks. Oh, did you? Oh, yeah, got it. We're good. Well, power. That's what my theory was. All right, there we go. All right, if you've never been here before, my name is Chris with South Bay Tech Gurus, offering free interaction 3 days a week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I try to do this for a short while. And we have Bill in the chat. How about the front door cam? All right, well, I have two options there. The ring door camera is an option. They have a suite of hardware. I personally, here at the shop, have the Nest Cam. I got a couple of those. I got one overhead here that collectively covers just about everything that happens in the shop. And of course, if anything were to happen at the door, that gets covered. So the ring is that. Are you looking for a door cam because you want to? I mean, you already have a Wi-Fi connectable door handle. Are you actually looking for activity at the door? Because the Nest cams have a better resolution than the Ring cam. So, and the Ring cam plugs into the wall for AC power, and then it uses your Wi-Fi to communicate the data. So does the Nest cam. Also, the Nest cam. I'm sorry, the Ring cam. You have options. I need to know what kind of when you say the front door cam, yeah. Also, I need to know if you have a doorbell electrical. You probably do because you have a real house, not a cheap little apartment. Because that way you can plug in the higher end product, which gets electricity through the wall instead of the battery powered unit, which is the cheaper one, which someone in a cheap apartment would need to do. Oh, that's weird. Missed call. That's weird. Yeah, it's probably a spammer call, but it was a 310 area code. Always allow. So yeah, activity package delivery. Yes. Okay, so yeah, the Nest Cam has an outdoor option, but actually I think the Ring doorbell for that sort of request is probably best, the Ring. So if you, do you know if your doorbell, you have a doorbell. There you go. Where in the house is your router? Because that's another option. I don't think because they have one that gets power through Ethernet, but I don't think you want to run Ethernet to your router. I think the one that you want is the mid-grade unit that actually gets plugged into the doorbell wiring. So the Ring doorbell. And then you're going to subscribe. Let's see what the subscription is. It's several dollars a month to cloud back up that data. Ring, let me see what the Ring doorbell subscription costs. Let's see here. So we were talking about memory and a car camera. Yeah, the Ring camera doesn't have that. Okay. Okay, the plans for the Ring, you're going to end up subscribing at $3 a month. Let's see here. I'm on their website. Protect your everyday. That's weird verbiage. Protect your everyday. Okay, let's see here. Choose a subscription that's right for you. $3 or $30 a year. Save $6 with an annual purchase. That's the basic. Then you have the plus, which is $10 or $100 a year. That's basically the number of days of history. Or the Pro, video recording, 27 hours, 24/7 professional monitoring for Ring alarm and more, starting at $20 a month or $200 a year, which saves you $40 if you do the $200. So if you just go to the Ring, actually what I'll do is copy that link from the Ring website and go to the YouTube channel, and I'll copy that into the live feed. If you do the $200. So if you just go to the Ring, actually what I'll do. Oh, you know what? I think that link is to copy that link from the Ring website and go to the YouTube. Oh, good. You notice how I got my audio good. All right. So what I think I need to do is go to Bitly because the link is too big. Bitly. That's annoying. You know what? I'm just gonna go online here. Let's see here. bit.ly, bit.ly. If you want to ever cut a very long link down to a short one that's easier to move around, like I just tried to take this super long link and put it into the YouTube chat, it's too long. So now that I'm going to bit.ly, let's see here, Ring subscription cost. There we are. Okay. Copy. Is that it? Oh no, that's weird. Huh. That link, or that URL is not that interesting. That's not that long. Why was I not able to copy and paste it into the chat? That was weird. Anyway, let's do this. Okay, go to the chat. Paste. Oh no, that's weird. There we go. There, that link was now clickable. So that's the cost for the Ring plans. It's basically going to be cloud backup. You don't have to worry about physically plugging in memory like you do, as I was speaking, for the camera that's in your car. So back to that conversation. I think I was interrupted. Did Mike? Anyway, why? I just had someone trying to call me again. That's weird. Let me see here. Let me see if that's a real phone number. There we go. Who keeps trying to call me at that number? Applicable. So that's the cost for the Ring. Let's see here.
Thank you for calling. This is Sydney from Pinehurst Funding. Can you hear me okay?
No, thank you. That's why. That's weird. It comes from a 310 phone number. It's a spam call, but they're getting so sneaky they're using phone numbers that look like they're next door. Oh my gosh, that's frustrating. Anyway, so what was I talking about? Oh, the camera. Yeah, so a dash cam for the car. You're talking about subscriptions and memory that goes into the actual camera. But for the Ring, that's just cloud data. You don't. There are cheaper cameras that will allow you to physically put a camera piece of memory into it, but the Ring doorbell is a little more useful and easy to deal with if you just use the cloud. That way you don't have to worry about hardware failure as much. The camera itself can fail, but the memory chips, they fail also. So eliminating actual memory that's plugged into the camera is probably going to upgrade your performance as far as reliability goes. So yeah, the Ring is my favorite choice. I've had that before. I've moved a few times, so I don't have it right now. I was actually thinking of putting it in here. I have a Wi-Fi connected Yale door lock, but I haven't bothered to do the Ring doorbell. I'm on borrowed time here at the shop, so I don't know how long I'm going to be here. I moved into this shop expecting 2 years. It's been 4. Looks like we might have less than a year. We don't know yet. But anyway, that's why I don't have a doorbell plugged into this door. So if you've never been here before and you just stumbled across this feed, I'm just a local IT guy and I talk live. I only talk live. I show up at around 10 a.m. Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. And you can drag me into a conversation. If you don't feel like calling me at 855-434-8787, you can show up at the YouTube chat or the Facebook chat. That reminds me, I also need to check Facebook since I've only been to YouTube. Facebook. Let's see here. That looks like Mike Garcia has liked the content on Facebook. Thank you very much. Hello, world. Yes, if you've never been here before, you've stumbled across an IT guy, and I am welcoming your interaction. If you don't talk to me, this is far less interesting, and my future success will be far more limiting if you don't join in. If you're too shy to join in a phone call, just show up in the YouTube chat and say hi there. 855-434-8787. I show up for as long as it makes sense. Obviously, you see I have live content showing up at my door, so you will get interrupted if they show up at my door, but that is essentially what I'm offering. Free conversation for anyone who wants it. The only thing I won't talk about is politics, but obviously my focus is technology if you are an enthusiast anyway about technology, then you're invited to show up and say hi. You're thinking of the door camera should be motion activated. Yeah, the Ring is motion activated. In fact, you can how to describe this? You can allocate certain corners of a window. So like if you have half the camera is above ground and you're catching birds flying, you could literally take a corner of the image and say ignore any motion to this corner. Or maybe just the opposite. You know that most of your people that show up on camera are going to be more at the upper level of the camera. You can literally tell the camera to ignore motion, lower level. So like if part of the camera captures traffic that's in like 25% of the camera, you can say ignore the traffic because there's going to be a car every two or 3 minutes. But if you're expecting foot traffic that's only going to show up once in a great while, then yes, you can actually go into the app on the phone and say ignore this 25. It's gridded like nine blocks on the camera. You can just say ignore motion in this particular quadrant. Or I'd say quadrant, but that's more than that. It's more than 4 segments. Yeah, I think you get 9 little segments on the camera. So yes, motion. All the Ring doorbell is motion activated. Oh, and it's also 2-way. So let's say if your conversation is needed because you definitely want to get your package today, you can literally talk to the delivery person and give them verbal permission to leave a package there. Because oftentimes, I guess there's technicalities about whether or not it's okay to leave a package maybe it needs to be signed for, maybe you're confident someone's home and they're not answering the door, maybe because you know your layout and you happen to know they're in the backyard. You can jump on the phone and say, hey, the delivery is here, go get it. So yes, the Ring, even their cheapest hardware, is available for two-way communication. So yeah, that's something to consider. You get the two-way communication, you get to allocate certain parts of the screen for activity. Yeah, most of those cameras will allow you to do that. So yeah, the Ring is probably my best recommendation for delivery sort of cameras. And then of course, you can add with the Ring, you can actually, with the Doorbell, one of the add-ons you can add on is a speaker that plugs in to the wall outlet, so that if you're on the other side of the house, or I know you specifically have a, well, you've got like a, well, you're in Florida, so most people have backyards that are encapsulated in a, what's it called, a screen room, basically. So it's sort of outdoors, but it's indoors, which means you have access to a wall outlet. You can plug that little speaker into that part of the house, so that when someone's at the front door and they ring the doorbell, you wouldn't necessarily hear an actual ring door. You wouldn't actually hear the speaker from a traditional doorbell, because maybe it's located upstairs or close to the front door anyway. So that's another add-on to the Ring suite of hardware. You can also add that speaker. It physically runs off the Wi-Fi, which is how it knows what's going on. So you link that speaker to the Wi-Fi, to the Ring. You hit the Ring doorbell, and the speaker goes off while you're in your back patio on the opposite end of the house. And of course, you can do these redundant setups where if you have any unusually large house, you can install more than one of those speakers. So there you go. The Ring hardware is what I'm recommending for a camera system for the house, for your situation. Indoors, I like, yeah, your man cave. There you go. Yes. Camera that's specific to indoor use. I still like the Nest Cam. It's a separate product. Obviously, it's now Google owned, but I recommend the Nest Cam just because I like the quality. It's 270 degrees. I don't know what the angle of viewability is on the Ring hardware, but I think with the Nest Cam, it's 270. Obviously, I have the camera, that's why I remember. But the Nest Cam covers 270 degrees as far as angle. They have an outdoor rated camera, but it needs AC outlet, so it wouldn't necessarily make sense unless we're talking about a man cave in your situation, where the camera that would normally require AC outlet power isn't really accessible, traditionally speaking, on the outside of the house or any structure. They do have an outdoor rated camera, but oddly enough, it does require AC outlet power, which is a little backwards, but it is the case. So yeah, Ring for the camera that welcomes your delivery person or guests or strangers at the door, and then the Nest Cam for internal use. All those cameras, also the Nest Cam also allows for two-way communication. So if you do need to say, hey, get out of my house, or whatever, or maybe give instruction to the your house, if you have a maid or a housekeeper and they're looking for something, you can literally have a two-way conversation there, because you're watching. You can literally say, hey, it's over there. You can point to wherever you need to be. I mean, that's kind of an odd situation that might not come up often, but it is a possibility. So anyway, if you've never been here before, I'm just having a conversation. If you want to talk tech, this is a place to be. Alright, let's see what's going on. But yes, you got two options. The Google Cam for internal use, and the camera for the car. The Blackview camera is a higher end hardware. And they have a total suite of cameras. With the dash cam, you can do front only, or you can add you can get the package deal that includes the rear camera. There you go. Yeah. I personally, I don't have cameras on all my vehicles, but I think I'm going to go that route. Just because I want to be able to I like that Blackview camera because I can babysit the vehicle when I'm not in yeah, literally in it. If it's parked in an unsecured environment, then it's a way to babysit the vehicle. You can get the package deal that includes the rear camera. Especially with the two-way camera. If someone bumps it, you get the recording. Oh, that's also, yeah, you'll get literally a notification if it's cloud connected. The camera will send a signal to the phone and you'll know that someone bumped into you or there's activity at the car. So there you go. That encompasses all major form factors of technology cameras. You could go for security, you could go the traditional route, but oddly enough, the traditional cameras are not very good recordings. How often do we make fun of the fact that you have this robbery that happens at a what's it called? At a liquor store, and you can't see enough detail to recognize the face. So those are the traditional cameras that plug into what is essentially a hard drive, or a $150 little hard drive with a bunch of BNC connectors for the up to 8 cameras. Yeah, those cameras are generally not very high res, which is weird. But a lot of those cameras are just not those traditional what is called a voice over IP camera. Often the resolution on those cameras is just not good enough. And of course, you don't get the two-way communication ability. You are dealing with a $150 hard drive setup that is actually no more reliable than a $500 Dell. And of course, it's local hardware. You have to worry about failure, and it is a traditional hardware, a hard drive, so that when you get your failure, you're going to get some cryptic error on the screen that only a technical professional is going to recognize as your hard drive failed, which is another argument for going cloud only as far as that security request. So there you go. If you've never been here before, you've stumbled across my YouTube channel. Chris, operating at South Bay Tech Gurus, offering free interaction for as long as you want. I'll stick around for as long as it makes sense. I'm just an IT guy from Los Angeles offering free interaction for anyone who wants it. 3 days a week, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday at 10 a.m. If you show up at the YouTube channel, you could say hi in the chat or give me a phone call at 855-434-8787. And that's pretty much what I'm offering. If you've never been here before, you just stumbled across an IT guy, and I'm offering free interaction for anyone who wants it. Alright, so what else is going on for the day? I was interrupted a couple times. Was there a particular article I was reading that I found interesting? Oh, I think I was interrupted when I was talking about the, what is it? The security. I guess, you know what I'll do? I will take this link, because this article, obviously I didn't finish it. Copy URL, and go back to YouTube, because it is a article that makes sense. There we are. Yes. Sometimes if you show up and I'm randomly reading a technical article, it's interesting enough to read, I'll take that link and I'll put it in the YouTube chat. So there you go. Now you can finish it on your own. Alright, so do I have anything else going on? Not really. I've been at this for over a half hour. A nice... Whatever happened to the Brits? They got busy. One of the Brits... she's still, so actually 2 of them, the 2 regulars, and they still keep in contact. I think one of them kind of liked me, so she's got a boyfriend now. So she doesn't pay nearly as much attention as she used to. But Myron, he's still around. He says hi. In fact, I got to return his call. I didn't realize it until recently, but I missed his last attempt at communicating with me. But yeah, the Brits are still around. But obviously, I'm not necessarily what they find the most interesting, but they're still around. Yeah, Myron and Kate, those were the 2 that paid me the most attention, but they're still around. In fact, let me just send him a quick... Let me see if Myron... Let's see if Myron... There we go. There we go. I said hi to Myron. We'll see if he responds. But anyway. Yeah, Myron and Kate. Those were the two. Here we go. Ah, Myron says hi. Just got in. Let's see. You got a job. I'm good. Myron got a job. Cool. I said hi to Myron. We'll see if he responds. Anyway. Sweet. So there. I'm saying hi to Myron right now. Here we go. Ah, Myron says hi. Just got in. Anyway. So. All right. He's chatting me up. All right. Do we have any other interesting articles before I take off? I'm good. Cool. Myron got a job. Sweet. He didn't have one the last time I said hi. All right. So. Sweet. So there. I'm saying hi to Myron right now. Live. Anyway. So. All right, here we go. Here's an article. Let's see if this is easy to read. Go away, ad. All right. iOS 15.3 now available to iPhone users. Here's what's new. All right, Apple's latest round of software updates is now rolling out into the public space. iOS 15.3 is now available for iPhone users and iPhone users with performance improvements, bug fixes, and security enhancements. Furthermore, iPad OS 15.3 is also now available because obviously it's the same OS, mildly tweaked for the other hardware. While WatchOS 8.4 is rolling out for the Watch 8.4. There we go. iOS 15.3 forgoes new features in favor of under-the-hood bug fixes. Yes, because Apple needs that. Apple has had some quality issues over the last several years. I mean, frankly, you could say that they've had quality control issues since Steve Jobs has passed. So for the last 10 years, I've been able to poke fun at their quality control. All right, so 15.3 forgoes new features in favor of under-the-hood bug fixes and improvements. One of the most notable changes here is a fix for Safari vulnerability that may have been leaking browser history and Google ID data to the website you visited, which might be directly related to that camera hack. Don't know. Shoot the mouse. My gosh. That peak on... What? My gosh, that... My gosh. That peak on the mic. Yuck. What are you talking about, Myron? What are you that peak on the mic? I actually am very temporary setup. I might actually I'm looking for a new office, so that's why I haven't. You can hear me twice? Oh, really? Well, I got the audio turned. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Well, that's interesting. You can hear me twice. How bad is it? Is it like an echo, or is it like you're hearing literal two recordings? Shoot the mouse. What do you mean by shoot the mouse? Is that a British term? I'm thinking you're talking about some... I'm looking for a new office. You can hear me twice. I can't. I tested that. I heard myself on YouTube. Well, I got the audio. Oh, you know what? You figure it out. Well, that's interesting. You can hear me twice. How bad is it? Is it like an echo, or is it like you're hearing literal two recordings? No, I actually think it's... What do you mean by shoot the mouse? Is that a British term? No, the YouTube audio is fine. I'm thinking you're talking about some... Oh, well, you didn't tell me that. Okay, well... I can't. I tested that. I heard myself on YouTube. Let's see here. Yeah, okay, so... Shoot. You're going to shoot the mouse. Okay, well, I'll call you after the show, Dad, and we'll see what you're speaking of, because actually, here, I'll call you right now. I can't, I don't understand where the audio is coming from, where the second feed is coming from. Okay, well, no one has told me they've... A minute behind the actual live talk. Yeah, okay, so... Shoot. Okay, well, I'm trying to play the live feed on YouTube, and it's not giving me that issue. That's why it gets confusing, because if I can't monitor myself, I'm literally playing my audio through the phone, and I'm not hearing myself twice. It sounds a little overmodulated, because I got a mix with my mixer, but I'm not hearing a second feed. Let's see here. Well, the fact that it's delayed a minute is normal. Oh, you know what? Let me try this. Oh, you know what? I think I know what's going on. I think I figured it out. Is that fixed? Alright. Is it fixed? Let me know. I think I figured out what's going on. I have the speakers on the computer that's powering YouTube muted, but because I had my live feed going, the YouTube content was not muted. And I was trying to monitor, I was trying to copy and paste a link to the YouTube chat. Now I think that it's closed. What I wasn't paying attention to was the muting on the YouTube was not muted. I muted the speakers for the whole computer. Did I fix the double audio? That now explains where it's coming from. Yeah, that's the problem when you're wearing all the hats. There we are. Yes, I think we figured it out. Yes. All right. Well, there. Yeah, that was me. All right, my mistake. Thank you, Myron, for finally saying so. Yes, I just didn't... You know what? There would be a cool feature is if when you muted the whole computer, that all the apps that play audio were also muted. That would be a nice feature. I know that doesn't exist, but that would be nice. You mute the audio, because right now I've got the audio muted for the computer. Like if I unmute this, I'll go to high heaven for the... I'll just totally... you'll get feedback everywhere. Did I shoot the mouse? I did. I apparently shot the mouse. I wasn't getting the reference. So, as far as Bill, you were talking about my British friends. Myron, I think you've said hi to him. He is my favorite. There you go. Can I fix the dreadful mic? How's the audio now? Is it still bad? Actually, tell me if my... that's the yellow one. Let's see here. I turn the level down. Tell me if it's less modulated now. I'm always bumping into that thing, so it's changing. Tell me how bad it is now. Is it better? There we are. All right. Oh, that's right. Let's try this. Let's see here. Blue. Oh, there we go. Let's try that. Tell me if that's any better. Testing 1, 2, 3. All right. Yeah, well, see, this is why I need your criticism. I need you to be able to tell me if I'm heard literally okay. Is that better? Am I still am I overmodulated? Because as I try to monitor myself through the phone, it still sounds okay. Palatable, maybe? Oh yeah, there we go. That's way out of date audio. Alright, okay, let me see here. There we go. Thank you very much. There we go. Looks like we got a bot visitor here. Good. Good, good, good. These are the criticisms I need, because doing this on my own is really frustrating sometimes. So yes, I've modified the audio. It literally does not look like when I look at the audio mixer, the audio doesn't look like it's in the red. So if it sounds audio overmodulated, I can't necessarily tell. So I need your input. Good. Thank you very much. Yes. Okay, cool. So I modified my inputs. Maybe now I'm a little more palatable, more easy to understand. So here we are. So anyway, if you've never... Mouse is gone. He shot... Yes, I'm sorry. I just didn't understand what you meant by shooting the mouse. I didn't get the reference. But there, yes, the mouse was the other voice. Thank you. Yes. If you've never been here before, my name is Chris with South Bay Tech Gurus, offering free interaction for about, maybe an hour or so, 3 days a week. You're invited to show up, say hi, give me a conversation. Usually it's sort of technical, but I will have a conversation about anything except politics. Show up in the YouTube chat, show up in the Facebook chat, South Bay Tech Gurus. Give me a phone call at 855-434-8787. You can also call me if you are outside the United States through Facebook chat, South Bay Tech Gurus. All right, just turn it down a little on the mixer when you get exited. Just one more bit. All right, okay, so now here's the deal. I got 3 mics. I got 2 hanging from the ceiling and then this one. So you're telling me I still sound a little loud or overmodulated? Let's see here. Because visually, it looks good. It literally looks good on the screen. I can't literally hear it and know what you guys hear, obviously. Because I've been trying to monitor myself through the YouTube app on the phone. And obviously, that's not going to be the best audio quality. There we are. Something in your class. Showcase. Show me something not boring. Well, I believe this is at least slightly different setup than I last saw you online. I'm actually looking to move my office, so I'm not going to do any major modifications until I move. So, something in my collection. You've seen I got a new mic arm, I got a new mic, I got mics hanging from the ceiling so I can have a conversation and capture that live conversation. If you look at the earlier feed, you'll see that a customer came in earlier, and that's ultimately part of the encapsulation. When you get exited, it gets loud. When you make... Okay, so I don't know what you're speaking of as far as when you get exited. Rephrase that. I don't know what you're speaking. Something in your... when you get exited, it gets loud. All right. So I have basically 3 microphones to talk about. No. When you mean exited, what do you mean? That's not telling me what you're speaking of. Something different. No. Something different than what? Right now, this is my slow time of year. January, February suck. So I just don't have that much activity right now. So as far as something interesting, I just don't have anything going on right now, except that this laptop here has a bad drive. So if you look about a half hour ago, that customer brought me this computer. I'll be replacing the drive with an upgraded SSD. Something happy, something different. I'm actually in a pretty good mood. Yeah. Something different or something happy. Well, I don't know. What are you speaking of? There we are. Yes, I am happy. Yeah. Hey, Myron, if you find a interesting tech article, you can email it to me or chat it to me. Or, yeah, just send the link to me. So that's sort of interesting, and I'll talk about that. That'll be more content. Come visit. We'll take the mouse hunting. Mouse hunting. Great sport. Right. Yes. Yeah. When the politics of this whole virus calm down, I'll come visit. That means we're probably 6 months to a year out. It's going to be another year before I'm in a part of the United States where we're just totally regulated. We could hardly lift a finger. There we are. Myron, you're live. Hey, Myron, how are you? You're trying to what? You're trying to stay excited? Oh, okay. So when I get excited about what I'm speaking of because the volume increases the input, okay, so I don't have like a, got it. Okay, now your verbiage didn't make sense to me in writing. So when I get excited about a particular sentence, the inflection is enough to become overmodulated. Does it sound overmodulated or just too loud?
Sounds like I'm
Got it. Okay. So like right now, how delayed is it on this phone call versus the live feed? Oh, okay. 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 So what I'm thinking I'm doing, I'm leaning into the microphone, which is problematic. Let me try this. I'll turn the volume down even more, or the input down. So I'll experiment with that. Maybe if you want to come back tomorrow and tell me if I'm sounding better without me screwing around with the inputs, because if it's not you or anyone else on the outside, I can't accurately monitor myself. Yeah, I'll find something exciting. Yeah, sure. Hopefully, I'll have something come to my door and it'll be exciting. Yes, exciting. Okay. Yeah, it'll be more interesting than a. I'm trying to put you on speakerphone. I don't know why the volume's stuck so low. Anyway. Okay. Okay, thank you. I've been at it for about 45 minutes, or yeah, about almost an hour. So I'm going to take off anyway. And it's just you and my dad. So, yeah. Excuse me. Man, that's weird. But anyway, okay, cool. Thanks for saying hi. All right, bye. So there we are. All right, mouse hunting. Anyway, if you've never been here before, I'm just an IT guy from Los Angeles offering free interaction 3 days a week, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, 10 a.m. I show up for as long as it makes sense. You want to drag me into a technical conversation or just have general chat, go ahead and... oh, I just realized I read that wrong. Yeah, you're inviting Myron to come over. Yes, yes. Myron, come mouse hunting. Yes. I just misread that. I thought Myron said they'll come visit. We'll take you mouse hunting. Anyway, okay. Yes, that's my dad in the chat, Bill Sabrito. That's pretty much all I have to offer for the day. I've been at this for an hour. It's a bit longer than I've offered in the last several weeks, anyway. Yes. I guess. What do I have going on? I just don't have that much going on this time of day. All right. So, if you've never been here before, my name is Chris. I encourage you to show up. Obviously, this is far less interesting. My attempt is to grab as much live content, which means outsiders from here at the door or you online, show up in the YouTube chat. If you don't feel like a phone call at 855-434-8787, show up in the YouTube or the Facebook chat at South Bay Tech Gurus. All right. Obviously, 724. How do you do it? Okay, now articulate what you mean. 724. What? 724? What do you mean? What does 724 mean to you? 24/7 is a term we use here for 24. I know you do the dates backwards. Is that what you're talking about? Because you're a Brit. Question of the day. Okay, question of the day. Got it. You want a question of the day. I'll come up with a question of the day. What do you mean by 724? You know what? I actually had a conversation with someone giving me some constructive criticism earlier. Yeah, on a particular, like, I think their specific reference was, what do you do if, yes, I got to come up with a, you know what I'm going to start doing is I'll come up with a basic bullet, a list of bullets to complete for the 10 to 20 to 30 minutes I'm here. Man, that's weird. All right. How do you install it? 7.2.4. What are you talking about? Linux? And how to make it work? 7.2.4. Is that a version of Linux? I'm nowhere near a Linux expert. That's why I'm not familiar. But I'm thinking you're talking about Linux because that's not a version. Oh, you're on 7.1 of what? On version of what hardware are we speaking of? 7.1 of what version of what hardware? On what hardware? Recent from what? 7. What version of what? You're talking about an Android version? 7.1 of what? Single? Are we still in the single? Getting the brain going. 7.1. Nope. 7.1. Well, Windows is up to Windows 10. We're up to like 15.3 for the phone, for the iPhone. What's on version 7.1? Yamaha. Well, that's interesting. I have a Yamaha mixer that's powering this feed. What Yamaha what? That's the only Yamaha I have here. My mixer's a Yamaha. What is it? It's an MG10. The input version, not the USB version. Yeah, I don't know what the 7.1 you're speaking of is. Getting the brain going. Thank you. Yes, I can use an outsider telling me to get my brain going. Are fans important for? Well, of course. Well, yeah, of course. Fans are important for AV. Anytime you have an encapsulated piece of technology in a tight space, ventilation is very important. How do you install 7.2.4? That's the question for you. 7.2.4. Well, now I got to go Google the version number because I don't know what you're speaking of. Let's see here. 7.2.4. Well, how do I install? Oh, you're talking about installing a surround sound system 7.2. Wait. Well, I know. Okay, 7 channels. That would be satellite channels, and then the point. It's not a. You're talking about the AV setup. 7 channels, satellite channels. Two subwoofers. Let's see here. Okay, the first number 7.x.x. Speakers at ear level. Yeah, I know what 7.2. Let's see here. 7.1. Got it. 7.2. Okay, the third number. What is... Now I have to give myself a live education here. The third number, that's what I don't know of. This speaker is the height speaker. Got it. Yeah, you confused me. Yes. Good. Hey. Thank you. Okay, so the point 4 is the 4 height speakers in the ceiling. Yes. How do I install that? That's physically laborious. That's a lot of physical labor. You got to run your wires. If you want to do height speakers, you're going to do in-wall speakers in the ceiling. If you're a music enthusiast, what you might want to consider is having your speakers not in the wall for doing basic stereo. I mean, if you really want good quality sound, no in-wall speaker is going to outperform a wall or a ceiling speaker. So if you're a musical enthusiast, have some floor standing speakers for the music. But obviously, if you're trying to save space, or if you have a wife that just doesn't want these big garish speakers, that's often why a lot of people keep with the wall speakers. But yes, there we go. I wasn't thinking in the mode of AV. But yes, the point 4, 7 channels for satellites. 2. The point 2 is the 2 subwoofers, and the 4 is the aerial speakers. How do you install and run the content? When you say the content, what the content are you speaking of, Myron? How do you install and run the content, or run the speakers? Is that what are you talking about? Phishing the physical speakers? You can use a phishing setup. Chris is easily confused, but one hell of a mouse killer. Yeah, right. Oh, man. Are you by running the content? Are you talking about for Dolby Atmos? Okay, so what are you speaking of? Are we still talking about installing the hardware? Or are we dealing with... So I recently got a 7.1 receiver. Got it. What's not working? Go slow. Trying to get your articulation in text. Got it. Took me ages to design because of my layout. Right. Got it. So what you're saying is your room is not a box. It's not a traditional 4 walls and a ceiling. But I want to have the 7. Okay. So is it a vaulted ceiling where you just don't have the physical capacity to put roof mounted speakers on? Do you need fans on it? If it's got holes in the box, I would probably ventilate the box where you put it. Also, TV is an LG C1 48 inch. All right. Update the TV. Make sure it's reliable. I know there have been some reliability issues with your Roku. I'm guessing that doesn't have the Roku firmware in it, but they've had some reliability issues where they're temporarily bricking a TV, which is just stupid. But on the Yamaha fans, I would recommend a fan if it's an enclosed environment. Like I got a vintage stereo right here, and it doesn't need fans because it's wide open. But anytime you're encapsulating technology, if it's got vents on it, then the box itself should be in a ventilated environment. There you go. Install a vent, do a sucking out sort of direction, and pull that heat out of the encapsulated environment. So, anytime you buy technology that has vents, like any stereo equipment, you're going to have vents on the top of the box. Make sure if it's a box with holes in it, then it needs to be ventilated. Don't put it in a closet because that closet will become an oven. And then its overall operating temperature will be increased by 50, 60 degrees potentially. If your ambient temperature here is only 70 degrees, I mean, I'm in the States, you don't, Fahrenheit, 70 degrees. You could easily get over to 100 degrees in the box, in your closet. So my amp, how do I plumb 7.2.4? Okay, yeah. Okay, so I would use the easiest way to do it would be to do HDMI over Ethernet. Get a Balun, get a box that's called a Balun. Do I have one here? Yes, I do. Hold on. I do. I actually have one right here. All right. So this is a Ethernet Balun for HDMI. It's a little old, but it is actually 4K rated. Oh, there we go. There we are. This is how I'd recommend running Ethernet for more than 5 or 6 feet, because the original standard for HDMI was never meant for more than 6 or 8 feet. I forgot what it is, but it was not meant to run HDMI 50 feet. You physically could buy an HDMI cable that's 50 feet, but you're going to screw up your reliability. The more reliable way to do it is to run it over Ethernet. This basically means you get an HDMI to Ethernet box that gets plugged in on either end of the on either HDMI connectivity. So you're going to have one of these boxes. Yes, this is brand new. It's been sitting in the box for literally more than a year. So there you go. This is this the transmitter or the receiver? This is called an HDMI. Too much light. HDMI to Ethernet Balun. So you plug the HDMI signal, like this is the input, HDMI input. You plug the receiver into this using the HDMI, and then the other end, you got Ethernet. Running Ethernet in the walls is more reliable and obviously easier than running HDMI through the walls. So run that Ethernet through the wall. You still haven't told me whether you have the vaulted ceilings, because if we're dealing with the roof mounted or ceiling mounted speakers, the biggest issue is if you have vaulted ceilings and you don't have physical space because you have bare access to the ceiling and you have no crawl space to speak of. That could be a potential problem if you don't have a void. It's 1111. Let's see here. Your amp. I need those features. 7.2.4 HDMI. Good. So this being a couple years old, this exact model, this is an old, what is it? This exact hardware I'm speaking of, the KD-X2222 Pro, or PO, might not have those latest the Dolby support. This has been shoved in a closet and sitting on my shelf for probably over a couple of years. So you can look up this exact model and see what features. There you go. There. It's a black box. That's easier to look up. This hardware supports 4K, but I don't think it supports the latest Atmos. I could put speakers in the ceiling. I have crawl space. No. What are we speaking about? The amp? I need those features: 7.2.4, HDMI 2.0, HDR10, Dolby Vision. What amp do I need? So what amp do I need to also do for the recommendation for the center channel? Wait, did you choose your exact amp already? A center channel. You're asking me what center channel to choose? Generally speaking, you want to stick with the same brand all around because they're optimized for each other's use. You need a new amp. Got it. You don't need that as a TV is 1 meter away. Got it. 3 feet away. So you haven't chosen which amp you want. Okay, I personally can't tell you which one is best. I would go to Google and find out what features are available for a particular model. And obviously you want to future-proof yourself. So do the, make sure you get the latest HDMI version support. Hi, this is Chris.
Hello. Chris Sobrino.
Hello, this is Chris.
Oh,
Oh, shoot. That was delayed. I thought the app was not working right. I gotta wait for it to populate. That's weird. I accidentally hung up on her. Well, the app has been acting up. My phone app has been glitchy. I use Ring Central, and sometimes when it says push 1 for answer. There we are. Okay, now I get to call her back. All right. I had to wait for her ID that phone call to populate. Hi, this is Chris.
hi. Who is it?
This is Chris with South Bay Tech Gurus. My phone glitched when I was trying to answer the phone.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I believed it was probably mine because I have such horrible reception at
Ah.
the house with myself.
Got it.
Anyway, thank you for calling me back. I was going to call you on my other line.
Sure, what's up?
So my name is Lisa, and you're my first guru person that I've ever called.
All right.
And I'm going to transition to work from home and sort of getting that set up. But one of my biggest issues right now is I don't know how to get rid of the old stuff. So I have this like Mac huge
You have a big ass.
monitor.
You have a big iMac.
I have a big iMac that I've left outside because I'm waiting for it to decompose, and it doesn't. It just holds up like a rock because I don't know how to erase information from it.
All right.
And I have a laptop. I mean,
Right.
It just, my electronics is piling up,
Right.
and I don't know how to handle that stuff.
All right. Well, I think a house call might be best because you don't want to lug all that stuff to the shop. So if I were to show up, I'd basically figure out exactly what hardware you have, what hardware is worth keeping, wiping the old hardware clean and making sure it's ready to gift to a friend or a family member so it's ready for their use is something I could do while we're there. Then we can itemize what hardware you have. If you wanted to email me a list of actual hardware you have, so that way we can get a better estimate as to how much time it's going to take. But it sounds like you also want to have your office set up so that for future use, remote working or connectivity to your professional acquaintances, you want to make sure that's all usable, right?
Yeah, sure. I don't have much to hook up right now because the stuff that I keep looking at is out of stock or
Right.
all that.
Are you thinking of a laptop replacement or another desktop?
Well, that's a great question. I was thinking, so we're remoting in on Amazon AppStream. So
All right.
that is loaded up on my little laptop, teeny tiny laptop. So I've noticed, like my colleagues have sent me pictures of their setup, and they have like their laptop set up to a monitor.
Yes.
So you can move around with the laptop
Yes.
that you're using. I need ergonomics.
Yes.
I have it at work, and I don't have it at home. I have just my little laptop. So I'm looking for, I have a stand-up desk now, and
Cool.
so now I want to get a bigger monitor and get the right ergo keyboard.
Yes.
And, yeah.
And still, you can plug all their desktop components into a laptop, so you can get whatever laptop you want, and then use a desktop monitor, a desktop monitor, desktop monitor, desktop laptop, a desktop keyboard, mouse, anything that you would normally use on a desktop, because it's ergonomic, is going to be you can plug into a laptop and still have your portability.
Yeah. Okay, but to get back to the other part of it, the recycling stuff, or however, I don't think I can give this to anybody. I've left one of the pieces of equipment outside for over a year.
Oh! You just want to know how to safely
rain,
dispose of it.
like on
Yeah.
purpose.
You literally left it outside. Got it. Okay, so
Yeah, literally it's outside in a box. I
All right.
actually left it outside of the box.
Got it.
Rain on purpose because I don't know how to erase the information.
well, if you have it professionally recycled, I wouldn't worry about the content. Like right now here in the South Bay, there's the Hyperion plant that is a professional recycler. They do remove the data by physically damaging or physically removing the data and then destroying the hard drive. So I wouldn't be worried about that. I mean, the only reason you would bring that hardware to me specifically is if you personally wanted the hard drive removed so you can personally keep it on file and sitting on a desk for your own reference. But generally, anyone who's considered a professional recycler is going to professionally protect your data by damaging the hardware that stores it.
Oh.
Yeah. Are you worried about the hard drive getting into the wrong hands? But
Yeah, for sure.
you basically want it, if you take it to, say, like there's the Hyperion plant, which is like next door to the airport,
Yeah, I've
LAX.
gone there for so many other things. Yeah, I go to the Hyperion.
Yeah, so if you give them a whole computer, all right. So if you give them a whole computer, they will destroy the drive that actually stores your data.
I mean, it's got my pictures. I really don't want that somewhere where I'm not at least witnessing it being destroyed. You know what I mean?
All right. Well, so then that would be a situation where if you physically wanted someone like me to remove it and hand it to you, that's something I could do for you. Yes. Or if this is involving a house call, we could get other things done and at the same time do double duty and tear into that iMac, which is not a huge issue, and grab the drive. So that way you can physically retain it for any period of time, physically destroy it because it's in your hands. And yeah, right.
Let's do that.
All right.
Do that.
There you go. That way you have the affirmation or the you just have more security about physically knowing where it is. But yeah.
Yeah, that'd be better.
Okay, so yeah, I could do that.
Horrible pictures, but who knows, right? I've had my ID stolen already.
Right.
I've had my computer hacked.
Yes.
I've, it hijacked.
Yeah.
And all sorts of weird stuff. So.
Well, there
I
are.
think because my name's on like, the top of the alphabet, so I get kind
Right.
of attacked often, more than my friends. So I don't quite know why that was.
Well, one of the things you could do is lock down that laptop. There's technical ways to do that, or desktop, and make sure that your data isn't as accessible. A lot of people, they literally will keep their passwords in a document that sits on their desktop, and the password for their entry into the computer is actually not good security unless that's encrypted.
Right.
I mean, technically, that password, if it's not encrypted, is not a good password, because encryption is really the only thing that's going to take someone like me from doing basically what you're afraid of. I could technically take an unencrypted drive out of a machine, plug it into a healthy computer, and drag that data anywhere I want. But if you encrypt it, and you do have to set that up to begin with, that's going to be a much more secure environment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's just something to consider.
I'll let you know
What?
So I'm super careful about every email that I ever get, and I had a beautiful friend of mine who was actually a journalist for the New Yorker, and he was a lovely writer and was put on hospice last year, or 2020. Time's kind of flying.
Right.
And he'd been struggling with a brain tumor anyway. So he was starting to write us, like a group of friends, like he would call it the third act trouble, and he was just chronicling his life, and they were just beautiful emails. And later in life, because it was a brain tumor, his email started to not make great sense, but he continued to write because that's what he did.
Right.
So I get this email from Dan Baum, right? I think.
Right.
And it says, "Do you recognize any of these people? Do you recognize this?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, he's going through pictures now." Guess what I do? I click on the fucking link.
Right.
And it took me through, swear to God, like, I don't really like The Matrix, but it took me through this weird phenomena on my computer, on my laptop. And just pictures started flashing and flashing and flashing and flashing, women in leopards, I don't know what, and Dr. Phil, and I don't have a clue. And
Right.
I'm like, oh, I don't know what that was. 2 days later, my camera starts going off.
Really?
Starts like, yeah. And then the next, so I'm like, what the fuck? So now I have a post-it over my little thing, which I used to have, and I didn't, and now I do.
Right, for the
And
camera.
then the next thing, unbelievable, my email, my Hotmail, one day I got 24,890 emails in one day, like something like that. It's just like rolling in. And then I'm like, this is so bizarre. So I start like deleting. As I delete, it's copying. So the next day I have double that.
Right.
I mean, I had to call MSN. I had to call the 3 bureaus. Oh,
Right.
and then the next thing, what else? Oh, and then like some ridiculous stuff. Like I bought something from Harry and David for Dan,
Right.
Months prior. And then suddenly, like, things are getting charged on Harry and Dan. I mean, this thing went on and on and on. I mean, that's not even the end of it. There was some other funky thing that ended up happening. And actually even now, when I delete from my Apple application, my Mail Apple application, so now I actually go into the web browser for my emails. I don't use the Mail application on Apple to delete because it still looks like when I delete, it copies.
Right.
So I have a handle on things, like it's not, but I had to lock down a whole lot of stuff,
Right.
I think reporting to the 3 bureaus, I think really helped. But that's up. That finished in October, November, so I'm kind of now waiting for the next thing to, I don't know.
Well, you
There
can.
was something, I know what I was going to tell you. Oh, check this out.
What?
Then I went into my passwords and stuff, like preferences, and then I checked, like, somehow like, from like, I was on Match, like, I don't know how many years ago, 8 years ago or something. Like, some Match Al guy, and when I look at that name, Al, I'm like, that's AI. That guy was such a hack. I swear to God. Either encrypted or got hit. Like, he got, like, that, I don't know what it would be called. Is it the URL or that was in my passwords?
Right.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, what is that? Like, I've never even, unbelievable. I was like, what the hell? So I just deleted that or removed it. But still, I mean, so many things were going on.
Right.
So many things were going on. It was unbelievable. And that's not why I'm calling you. Like, that's not why
Right.
I'm getting rid of the Mac. It's really about space. And
Right.
I'm just,
You want to make sure you dispose of it correctly. Yeah, you want to make sure it's disposed of. You want to make sure it's disposed of correctly.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not like cleaning up because of what had happened with the stolen ID. It's really about, like, I'm just trying to upgrade my space, honestly.
Right.
Like,
Right.
and so that just didn't fit anymore because I never really had the space for such a big monitor. And then my other old laptop, it's just like it's an upgrade. So it's really just about upgrading and getting more, like, seamless.
Yeah.
Like, working a little smarter.
Yeah. Be smarter. Yeah. If you set up yourself in the beginning, it's a lot easier than having to figure things out after you buy hardware and get going. Like, oftentimes people will bring me a computer. One of the things I like to do is set it up for future use rather than having someone to say, hey, this is how I've been working. Because that just makes my job more difficult, and it takes more time to set you up in a way that I would recommend you work.
Right. And I've been problem solving all along. Like, I got online. I mean, I studied. I mean, I'm an old woman, but I took DOS in college. Honest to God, like, I was so interested. Do you remember DOS? Did that even ring a bell?
Yes. I'm older than you probably think
How
too.
can you use that?
I'm old. Well, DOS has not been a real thing since the mid '90s. Windows 95 is really when we all got visually.
I know. I took it in the 80s. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. DOS is from the '80s, but it's yeah. Yeah. I'm older than you think.
Anyway,
So.
oh. So I figured things out. But Chris, honest to God, I don't understand. The thing that I'm really lost with is how does one monitor speak to another? Like I'm so used to the monitor being attached to the drive in a way, right?
You're talking about the desktop setup?
The dual monitor thing is confusing the hell out of me.
Oh, well, physically, there's a video card in a desktop that allows that to physically work, and then there are ways to set up multiple screens on a laptop also.
Yeah, through like the HDMI or whatever
Yes.
connections
Well,
or
yeah,
something. I really
there
don't
are
know.
splitters,
I
yes.
honestly don't know.
There are splitters that allow that to happen. It's all right.
Yeah. And then I'm like I said, I'm 100. So I'm researching. I'm researching monitors that are pretty good on the eyes because I'm planning on doing what I'm doing for a long time. I'm a nurse consultant.
Right.
So I'm online all day.
Right.
It's like I'm reading documents and documenting in
Yes.
in programs.
Yeah, if you're going to be doing that, you do want to make sure your ergonomics is good.
Teeny tiny.
Yes.
Yeah, vital
Yes.
for me to get it, to move forward. And my work was never going to let us work from home, but now they're really, before they're like, oh, this is all temporary, so I didn't really put any focus on it.
Right.
But now they're like, I don't think we're ever going back. If we go back to the office, it'll probably be only 20% of the time, and they just announced that like a week ago.
Right.
So I'm like, you know what? I haven't invested enough time in getting myself set up, and I hate having this stuff laying around for so long now.
Right.
I need to call somebody.
Yeah. It sounds like 1 or 2 hours is all you might need. I mean, obviously, I've spent half days with people, but just 1 or 2 hours I'm gonna be able to set you up in the correct direction. Even if we don't spend all day together, you're gonna get a lot accomplished.
Awesome, Chris.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the most efficient way I would say you can work with me is have a literal list of things you want to get accomplished. So that way, in the first 5 minutes of me showing up, I'm going to be able to say what I can accomplish in a relatively short period of time. And then we can easily prioritize what I think should be prioritized. And that way we can accomplish the more important things at hand. So that way anything that should be a back burner gets made a back burner versus let's take care of this now sort of thing.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. You want me to send that to you in an email?
Sure. In that way I can give you I charge $150 an hour. So just think about that in the long term. And that way we can decide how much time you think you want versus need to spend with me. And then, send that email so that way I can give you a more accurate estimate for the time that that'll take. But I think just 1 or 2 hours will be a lot of what you think you need.
I
Even
agree.
if
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking too.
Cool.
Okay.
So
Yeah. I think that my needs are kind of simple for you, not
Right.
for me.
Well,
So I think it'll be a simple fix because it really is about I have no idea how to build drives. I have no idea how to gather this equipment to dispose of correctly, and
Right.
then the other recommendations that I'm going to ask you for, and
right.
and I'll think of something else.
Well, it's sort of like the whole
But
it's sort of like the whole car maintenance thing.
It's so valuable to me.
Yeah.
If that helped, because literally this stuff has been laying around. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I can't wait to talk to somebody. How do I
Right.
don't have a clue.
Right. Got it.
Like,
Well, I mean, a lot of it is like the car maintenance thing. If you don't do your oil change exactly on schedule, it's because you're not an enthusiast. It's not like you lack the basic skills. Everyone can go spend 30, 40, 50 bucks on an oil change, but because you're not the enthusiast, you don't do it because it's not your interest. You just want your turnkey options.
yeah. Well, I like doing a lot of stuff on my own, but not this. I really want to do it right. This
Right.
sort of disposing and handling of the hard drive. I really want to do it the right. Even if it is $150 an hour, I think it's worth it to me.
Sure.
To just handle that stuff correctly, because I really don't know. I have no idea how people do that.
Yeah.
How they exchange phones. How do they do that? How do they? Here's your laptop. How can that be your laptop? It just how do you erase all? Where do you reset? And
Right.
I don't even think just resetting is enough.
Right.
Anyway,
So technically, just reinstalling Windows or on a Mac, doing that technically that's usually good enough if you just wanted to, like, if you were going to recycle it and keep it in the family and give it to someone else. But yeah, technically that's not a secure way to delete the content, because technically,
this stuff is too old.
right?
Yeah,
Well,
I'm not gonna. I wanted to donate it initially, and I even had the box for it. I wrote somebody, but this is years ago. This is like 5-6 years ago. And
right,
still haven't solved that problem.
right,
You know,
yeah.
I moved this stuff out like 5 years ago, I think, and I still haven't solved the problem.
Well,
It's weird.
your request is actually very common. Your request is very common, so I can definitely offer you solutions.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So just so you know, I mean, you're such a techie guy. You're not going to have any problems with the who's this and the spam that. But I'm Chelisa.
Yeah.
Lise at Gmail.
All right.
So
Okay.
when I send you, you'll know it's.
Oh, right. Yeah.
or whatever.
Got it. Okay.
It's a Gmail thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you
I'll
just
let you know.
just email me what you want, and then I'll be able to give you. We can have that quick phone call before I show up, and talk about whatever it is. But once we get talking in person, I'll be able to articulate where the direction needs to head.
Okay, and I'm really close to you. It's so funny. I've been going to Two Guns since like 2018 or 2017. I love that place.
I've been in this building for about 4 years.
You what?
I've been here for about 4 years, although I moved in expecting to be a temporary setup, so we'll see how much longer I am here, because
Oh yeah.
we'll see what happens. But the temporary is a temporary setup right now.
Yeah. I think like 3 weeks ago I looked you up and I'm like, should I call him? I think I should call him. And I thought, no, next time I go to Two Guns, I'll just see if he's there at the store.
Yeah.
So I went there like I think late last week. If the door looks really cool, I'm like, he's out in the all the time. I'll just call him next
Yeah.
week. So,
Either way.
So yeah.
Cool.
Very cool.
All right. So yeah, just come up with an email. Spend a day coming up with that email. Send it to me. We can call if you want, again if you want, and then we'll schedule a visit.
Okay. Perfect. I look forward to it, Chris. I'll see you soon, hopefully. How's your schedule look, by the way?
I'm usually, like you said, I'm usually doing house calls. So just call me before if you want a conversation in person. You can, but find out where I am first, and then just let me know at least 24 hours. I can't usually give you a same day offer, but
Oh yeah. No problem. But I'm thinking maybe I don't know. I'm thinking maybe I don't know, like this week or something.
yeah,
I'm hoping.
cool.
Maybe?
Yep.
Like does Wednesday sound kind of okay? But
Yep.
just tentatively.
Yes.
I'll wait until you get my email.
Yes.
Maybe. Okay.
That should work.
Okay. Cool.
All right.
Cool. All right.
Thanks.
I will send my email with the list, and thank you so much.
Good.
Thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right.
All right.
I can't wait.
Thanks.
I'm excited.
All right.
Let's find this chore done.
It's all right. Yeah. I know you're nervous. You're frustrated. You just want to get this done, but I promise I won't beat you up.
I know you won't.
All right.
No, I love this stuff. By the way, I do love this stuff. Tech does not elude me.
Right.
But I do feel stuck in this little these couple of projects here.
Got it.
So thank you.
Cool. All right.
Hey, have a good day.
You too.
Stay safe out there.
All right.
Oh,
Thank
by
you.
the way, just
Yeah.
to let you know for your safety and stuff, if you do, and I hope you do the home
Yes.
visit thing. I'm fully vaxxed,
Cool.
and I will wear a mask. And
I will too.
You what?
I will too. That's how I show up with a mask on my face.
Yeah, and I can keep my windows open and all that kind of stuff. So
No
I'll
problem.
keep you safe too, and we can do stuff outside too. Whatever.
All right.
It works.
Sweet.
I have a nice outdoor covered patio thing that I love. That I do a lot of work out here. So
Oh yeah. Well, make sure your Wi-Fi works right there for reliability.
it does.
Good.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
No problem. Bye.
All right. Have a good one. Bye.
Yeah, if you've never been here before, there you go. IT guy from Los Angeles offering free interaction for as long as you want. Show up here. YouTube, South Bay Tech Gurus. Facebook, South Bay Tech Gurus. Give me that phone call at 855-434-8787. And I have been here for more than an hour and a half. All right. I had more content than I expected. All right. Thank you, Myron. I don't know if you're still here. Dad, I don't know if you're still here. But if you show up at around 10 a.m., you will find me, 855-434-8787, for that free phone call. 3 days a week, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. If you want to keep track of me, subscribe to the channel. If you just want to, heck, if you know someone who can use the free help, because it is a free offer, send them the video. But yeah, keep track of me by subscribing. And then you're free to call me at 855-434-8787. I am self-employed. I work 6 days a week. You're free to call me even if I'm not here during, or if you want to call me while not during that schedule, or if I'm not here on that schedule because someone's paying me to be somewhere else. I invite you to interact with me as much as possible. 855-434-8787. I am scheduled to be here tomorrow. And have a wonderful